What is up? What is up to all our educator friends out there? Welcome to Sibme What's Up Wednesdays with your host Kyle, Howard, and Corey Camp.
Hello, hello. Y'all, it's the end of January. We're almost at the end of our first month of a brand spanking new year. We won't even talk about the last one. And I am excited because just as we had told everyone at the beginning of the school year, we were going to do this. We finally had some time to schedule with our friends at the Cheboygan. I can never remember how to say the rest of it, but COP ESD, which is an education service district up in Michigan. And we've got Kim Peters and Kim Blumke who are going to come and talk with us today. We're going to jump right into the interview, but just before we bring them on, I want to recap a little bit of their appearance on our show at the beginning of the school year. And Kyle, was that you or Brian who co-hosted that one with us?
That was Brian. That was
Yeah.
Brian. But Cheboygan, I mean, they're doing some great things, especially with some resources that we'll share here later. Very excited about. But we're definitely excited to have them back on here again.
Yeah. And just to share a little bit, I worked with Cheboygan this summer. They reached out to us right before everything hit full pandemic mode last year, and they were interested in implementing virtual coaching because they were a very, very small team. At that time, it was when they reached out to us, it was just one literacy coach. Now there are two, both named Kim. So that gets fun in conversation. But they were looking at how they can support their K-3 literacy teachers in implementing the literacy standards, the literacy essentials under Michigan's kind of like third grade guarantee is at least what we call it here in Ohio. And so it was, how do we implement it across our region, our space, and support all of these teachers in really meaningful ways and really dive deep into these essentials. They've been training on those essentials, but now it was really kind of time to put the rubber to the road and start seeing a lot more of that in classrooms. And so they reached out to us as a tool to help them do more virtual coaching. And then it just was a nice coincidence, I guess, if there could be one last year, that it worked out for pandemic times. And so we worked over the summer helping them walk through and think about how they can take their face-to-face coaching and transition that into a virtual or a blended model so it's flexible. If they can go in person, they have an idea of the best things to do when they are in person and in between those meetings. And they've been pioneers in Michigan. We've now got a whole kind of statewide network, ESCs and ESDs and ISDs, service districts all over the state are working together. We set up with them right before the winter break, a statewide collaborative account. So now they're coaches and coordinators and specialists are able to connect to each other on a more frequent basis from afar. So I can't wait to hear how their coaching has gone since they started last semester. So what do you think, Kyle? Should we bring them in?
Without further ado, we should bring them in.
Yeah, let's welcome Kim Blumke and Kim Peters. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Now, will you say for me, y'all know I'm Cheboygan. It's fun to say. It's really the only one I can pronounce outside of the COP. So tell us what COP ESD, the actual name of your organization.
It's Cheboygan-Otsego-Presque Isle Educational Service District, but we say COP ESD.
There you go. Okay, good. Too early in the morning for me. I've not had enough coffee to try to get my tongue to tie like that. Well, we are so glad that you guys are back with us. And I just want to kick off with our first question. What has been happening since we met with you at the beginning of the fall semester?
Well, we got started, right, Kim? It's pretty exciting. We have dove right in and gotten this all kicked off. We're meeting with our teachers and we're on the ground running now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, do you, as you are working with your teachers and getting going, of course, we're in pandemic times, you're probably have not been able to go out to schools. Is that correct? It's all fully virtual.
Yeah, we are right now. We're working fully virtual. When we first started our first meeting with teachers, we did meet face to face. We gave them their iPads and their mics and went through all of the documents with them, and we met with the principals face to face. But since then, we've been fully virtual, which has been great because our schools have been going in and out of remote instruction, so we wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet with them anyways.
Yeah.
I want to ask, especially with bringing and introducing Sibme and what Corey is saying, kind of having not the perfect storm, but having introduced it before this happened. How has that helped with your interactions with other districts in Michigan?
I think that has been huge. We feel so fortunate that we had started working with you before we even had heard anything about the pandemic, because we had everything all set to go. So as our schools moved in and out of remote instruction, it really didn't, it did impact us some because we've had to reschedule some with teachers because they're either in quarantine or, their class is in quarantine. But we can still meet with those teachers. We can meet with them anytime. We have meetings maybe at 7 a.m. or 6 p.m. if it works better. It's when it's convenient for the teachers. So it's made a really, really big difference, I think, compared to where we would be if we did not have the opportunity to virtual coach this year.
Yeah. So what's been this is kind of your first year doing virtual coaching. What's been a big aha for you? What's been something that surprised you pleasantly about the experience? And then what's something that you're still kind of working the kinks out of?
Well, I think the biggest aha and the biggest excitement about this is this can be done asynchronously. So, we have these teachers who are on different schedules, and, our motto this year, especially this year, is definitely flexibility to make sure that, hey, whatever time works for you, log in, let's collaborate. And so having the flexibility of doing this asynchronously with Sibme has been a great tool for us, for sure.
Yeah, I would add too that an aha for me was that I really thought that teachers would be really nervous about recording themselves and viewing it and sharing it with us. But Corey had told us early on, don't make a big deal about it. Just kind of go with it and don't, say anything like, oh, I know it's so hard to do that. And we didn't. And we really have not had any issues with that. The teachers are really good about it. It's just the way we do our work now. And I think because of the pandemic and teachers are using Zoom or Google Meet or whatever more now, it really isn't a big deal. So that I thought was going to be a big barrier, and it really hasn't been. Teachers have really, been willing to engage that way with us.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So I know that you all have been you've been the pioneers, at least as far as for Sibme here in Michigan. You've been pioneering kind of this virtual coaching. We did spend some time over the summer kind of talking about the different ways that this can look and what fits COP-ESD best based off of your coaching style and the availability and the resources that you have. What do you think is going to fit your audience the best? And so you've kind of not only come up with a structure to guide your coaching, but all of these additional resources. And we've been able to share some of those. You've not only been sharing those throughout Michigan, but we've been sharing them with some of our other customers who have just gleaned so much from it. Kyle, do you want to talk a little bit? I'll pull up one of their latest resources. You want to talk a little bit about how this is supporting others?
Oh, yes. Well, Kim has made a video about the virtual coaching cycle, and I actually shared that with another Michigan COP. Alacona. It's just the names of they're so interesting.
AMA. They've also got a big one.
Alacona AMA. Yeah, there we go. Our friends there. But But they once was able to share that with Shelly and her crew, they were really excited and really at all, really how you put it together as well. So we're definitely excited about putting that cohort together, sharing some of those best practices throughout that state of Michigan, and really building the community of Sibme, but also, like I said, supporting others, up in Michigan. So here is actually the resource here that Kim put together, and it is very, very awesome, very, very awesome, very exciting, very intuitive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to highlight, I'll head over to the page of this resource that has that video that you had created, right? This is your flyer. So tell us a little bit about this. We talk about this as like an infomercial. How did this kind of help get your doing this video and having these things outlined when you introduce this to the sites that you're working in? Did this help you at all kind of get started?
Yeah, this really helped a lot, and it was really twofold. First of all, it helped me figure out exactly what our coaching was going to look like, because it's big. I mean, there's so many pieces to it, which that's why it was so helpful to work with you on all of this, because there's so many pieces that before you start, you don't even really realize that you should have in place. So before I made the recording, I really had to think through what it was going to look like. So it helped me get a plan in place. And then the other thing, the main reason why I did it was we wanted something different that would get people's attention. There's teachers are getting and principals are constantly getting information. Oh, here, try this. Let's do this, So we wanted something that would kind of grab their attention, something a little bit different that might spike their interest a little bit. And I think it's done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I love about this is, in true infomercial, as we call it again here at Sibme style, you present a little bit of the why in this video, a why video should be used in professional learning, and then the how of how you plan on implementing this nice structured cycle. I mean, you really have all your ducks in a row, which I think is especially for this school year. We're already winging so much in our classrooms and in our schools. It's, I think, refreshing for folks to be able to kind of just, everything's figured out. They just have to fall into that. And I think that's powerful. And I think it really did help you kind of think through before you even had your boots on the ground with teachers, what all this would look like. And then you shared the video with me inside Sibme. So I've been working with you as in your account. And so I was able to give you some timestamped annotated feedback. I think you went back and maybe did a version 2, but it was a great video from the get-go, which was awesome. And it's been great that we've been able to share this idea of how others can kind of kickstart the messaging around their coaching.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's helped us a lot, and it gave us kind of a starting point, when we hadn't started. When I did this video, we hadn't started at all. So we are tweaking things, since we first started, especially since Kim has come on. It's nice to have that partner close by that we just jump on Zoom and kind of talk about how we might change things. But at least it gave us a starting point for our work, which if we hadn't had that, I don't think we'd be rolling right now. We'd still be trying to figure things out.
Yeah. And Sibme is in virtual coaching. I mean, you can just like cannonball jump right in and then kind of figure it out as you go. But you had the time over the summer and as you were waiting to get started with your coachees that you really maximize that time, which I think is even this year, as we're still looking at, the impact of pandemic teaching currently and a little bit lighter. A lot of folks are saying there's, lighter attendance in a lot of their PD sessions. They're not coaching as much or as heavy as they have in the past. This is the perfect time to, look internally at your coaching and at your team and your services and start to refine from there. Because I guarantee you next semester, not this spring, but when we come back next school year, it's going to be like a tidal wave. So we've got to be ready. And so whether you're doing virtual coaching or not, this is a good time to kind of strengthen that for sure.
And And Corey, since you mentioned that, I know in the back we were kind of talking a little bit about coaching Zoom conversations and putting those in huddles. If you all can kind of talk about your practice on doing that and kind of elaborate on that.
Sure. Kim and I are such great teammates. You know, we really complement each other in different areas. And so we really wanted to take this inside of Sibme too and use it to kind of reflect on our own coaching processes. You know, here we are asking these teachers to record themselves and then look closely at their video and see, you know, areas that they can improve. Why not use that same process on ourselves in our own coaching conversations? So so Kim and I actually decided from the beginning we would ask the teachers, you know, of course, for permission to record our coaching conversations. And then we share them with each other in our own coaching huddle. And we're using this timestamp feedbacks feature to just kind of talk about, oh, hey, did you notice that I said this? What's a better questioning strategy I could use here to kind of get thinking going? Or gosh, I really didn't like how I got off topic here. What could I have done differently? And just having those reflective conversations with each other, it's really helping me grow as a professional. And it's just such a boost too, to kind of know that we're on the same path and our team is moving forward together. So that's pretty exciting.
That's a really strong, that's a really valuable practice to be able to use video yourself, and you're walking the walk, right? You're not just saying, I'd like for you to record, but you're recording those coaching conversations, and then you're able to strengthen yourself as a coach in the live conversation. But I also think, I mean, I don't know about y'all, do you feel like that the ability to annotate on the video, those time-stamped comments, because they're in black and white, they're with the video, do you feel like your feedback has gotten stronger as a coach using video?
I would say absolutely. The other thing it allows me to do is it gives me time to process before I respond to a teacher. That is probably my all-time favorite thing about this whole situation is I have the time to really, I can watch a clip a couple of times. I can do a little bit of research. I can think about what questioning strategy I want to use. And that has, I think, made my coaching, it's made all the difference in the world rather than just being face-to-face or across from someone and being on the spot to try to provide some feedback to them. I think it goes much deeper and it's more thorough feedback. So that's been key for me.
Absolutely. And to add on to that, you know, it's really nice. Not only do you get the time to reflect and kind of research and pull in resources, but you can also add in those resources right in the comments. You know, whether you're linking in a special article or a quick link to a video they could watch, something like that. But it's just it's an opportunity to really tie it into that specific moment.
Yeah.
One other thing that I'd like to just point out that Kim and I do is we not only share our coaching videos with each other, but we've asked our teachers if it's okay if we are each collaborators in each huddle. So, for example, I can see all of Kim's video, her teachers' videos, and the correspondence that they have together, the collaboration. And I think that has been really helpful for us as well, because we're growing from each other and learning from each other at the same time. And we tell teachers that ahead of time and ask their permission, and we tell them that we're really going through the same process they are, and it's to help us to be better coaches. And we haven't had anyone that said no. Everyone's good with that.
Yeah. When I was a Sibme user before I joined the team a few years ago, that was my favorite thing, was to co-coach in a huddle with someone else, just because I learned so much from, I wasn't always completely active in that huddle, but like when we would sit down to talk about what's happening in our coaching and something that worked really well, I could go back and kind of look at it as well. It just really did. Video and using Sibme has transformed my coaching over the years. And I definitely have heard that from y'all a little bit as well.
For sure.
And you're intentional in not just reflecting on your own moves, but then also getting teacher feedback. So you've set up a couple of survey points for both teachers and the site administrators where you're coaching. Have you done any of these surveys yet?
Yeah, I have. I've done one of the mid-cycle surveys and one of the ending surveys. And it was really good to get that feedback. Basically, we ask, mid-survey, how are things going for you? Are you finding it valuable? What might we do to improve? And then the end of the year survey basically asks some different like art scales, asking how beneficial they felt the coaching was. And the feedback that we've gotten so far has been really positive.
Yeah. And I know this will be a continuation of your kind of reflection and refinement after you've finished, your first several cycles, to be able to go back, and summer's a great time to kind of go back and refine anything to that.
Sure. We also have a couple of surveys we made, one for, as you can see on the screen there, principal mid-year survey and end of the year principal survey. And we haven't done those yet. But we plan on doing that in a little bit. And that'll be interesting to see what feedback we get from the principals.
That's awesome. Kyle, do you have anything else that you wanted to ask or highlight from this resource? I know we've been taking a look in awe at it because you shared this with us, as you've also shared it with some of your statewide collaborators.
Yeah, I just want to go back and just highlight what Kim said, was asking for permission from the teachers, but then also doing, what they're asking of their teachers as well by walking the walk. And especially when you're in any coaching in any profession, as long as you get your team, your players to visualize that you're doing, what you're asking to do, they're willing to basically run through a wall for you. That's what as far as athletes say. So I think that's very powerful how you introduced it, but also with how you're executing and implementing it too as well. But especially with this resource, we're really excited to share this out, but really also excited that, we had the opportunity and Corey had the opportunity to work with y'all to kind of develop this and roll this out.
Yeah. And I have to highlight your virtual office here, Kim. It's always, we were joking that I made the wall. I'm on this sticky over here. This has been awesome. We're going to share your video flyer. We'll put a link to that in the comments, and reach out to us if you, or Kim, if you want to check out this resource, because I know you shared it as part of a statewide resource around virtual coaching. And this guide is kind of like a learning map for them to look at your whole process and then reflect on how they might start to implement their own. So now let's talk about your teachers as we kind of round this out, and what this, you've done a few surveys. You're working with them now. We talked about your ahas. Do you have any ahas or, comments or special things that you're seeing the impact on the teachers and the students that you're providing these cycles with?
Well, I can start. From the beginning, we've had a couple teachers that are a little hesitant to get started. It may be due to all the craziness going on right now, and they just have so much on their plate. But once they are in and they have gotten started, it's an easy road to go. They're really just getting right after it and enjoying it. And we're seeing such great progress. It's been a lot of fun. I've seen a lot of growth in a couple of the teachers that I am working with that have been really consistent in staying with the cycles. There's a lot of changes happening there. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I would add too that I think it's helpful to maybe start with groups that you might feel a little more comfortable with, or that you have a relationship already with. I've been very fortunate to start with teachers in a district that I worked in for almost 20 years. Now, some of them were new teachers that I didn't work with, but at least I knew the district and kind of how things worked within that district. So that's just, I think, a little hint that makes things a little bit easier, is thinking about who you're going to start with as you're brand new to this.
Yeah. My virtual coaching cohort that I've been working with this year, that was my number one recommendation to them, was to pick just a few, start small, and pick people that you already have a good relationship with, or you're already maybe working with, and those who are going to give you some honest feedback on, you're asking too much of me, or I felt really nervous that first video, if I could have done something different before, or if I could have seen a model video. I mean, those are things I've heard from some of the teachers as I've kind of gone through getting started in different sites and things, and it's really valuable feedback, so I can make sure that I'm considerate of that and adjust my playbook accordingly, that's exactly what you've built, is really like this playbook for virtual coaching for your organization. So
yeah, it was interesting too, when we met with our principals, every single one of them that we first met with wanted to at first mandate the virtual coaching with all of the teachers. So we kind of explained the research about how, to start off on the right foot, we want to make this optional, get kind of those people that are willing and ready to jump in first, and then try to build momentum. And so that's what we ended up doing. And that will hopefully work for us as we start to finish these first cycles, to be able to get more teachers on.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely, well, that's just a testament to your infomercial and the way that you presented the opportunity. I mean, every admin was like, I want all of my teachers doing this. This sounds amazing. So that's good. And it's going to only grow and scale. And I know there's just 2 of you as early literacy coaches, but you've got such a great structure and process. I mean, you're going to be able to do way more, I think, and I'm going to see if you agree, now with this tool than you could have without it, trying to do more traditional coaching.
For sure. Our ISD area covers over 2,000 square miles. So, before Kim and it was just me, I wasn't able to get to people. They quite often came to me, or, I was doing more professional learning sessions. And, since Kim came on, that's huge, but still that's a lot for even 2 of us. But now it doesn't matter if I'm meeting with a teacher that's in the furthest district away. If they're, over an hour away, I just jump on my computer and we go to it there.
Zoom on in. I love that. I love that. Well, Kyle, any last questions or ahas from you in our conversation?
No, I'm just, like I said before, I'm just excited what's going to be coming with this new year, getting y'all kicked off and geared up. But then also, like I said, I keep going back to what you're saying, how to implement it, finding that familiar group that, if you feel comfortable with, they're comfortable giving you feedback, as well as that culture conversation is really organic. But then also the growth. I like to reference things to, starting off, getting in the gym first. You hate going to the gym, you feel the burn, but eventually you start seeing the growth. You start seeing that this actually works. You start seeing this is not a bad thing. And next thing you know, you want to tell all your friends, do the cool kids do. And then there we go. See the Brian reference?
I was gonna say, you just brought Brian into our show. I love it.
So what the cool kids do, join us to me. But like I said, the power that can actually happen, but also the ability. We have a small, mighty team up at Cheboygan, but able to really maximize your time and also effectiveness and outreach. So we're, like I said, we're definitely excited here. But I really love that cartoon meme with the whole office setup, the Sibme picture, the purse on the bottom. So we're really excited about that whole resource document here.
Yeah, definitely very fun. Well, yeah, you guys are doing amazing work. We'll check in with you again at the end of the school year, see what your plans are for refinement over the summer, and just the overall impact that you've been able to have in your coaching, and what that's had. This is your 3rd year in the essentials. Is that correct? In the work from the state?
Nope.
Or 4th?
4th.
4th year.
In 4 years. And Kim's brand new. She's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. Well, well, it's been so wonderful having you on the show. I know we'll have you on again at the end of the year. I know we will be seeing you much sooner than that. We'll share a few of your resources for our audience. Reach out to us. And I just want to end by saying, this semester in the spring is the perfect time to start small, just like Cheboygan has. Pick a few people you've been working with through the year and add in this new element of video reflection using this tool, and you'll set yourself up really well for next school year, where I guarantee you we're all going to be doing a lot more coaching and everything else. So I challenge you all to start your virtual coaching this semester. Don't wait till next year. All right, Kim and Kim, well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Kyle. Well, that was awesome. I know I'm still going back to their resource and looking at things and sharing that, and the whole statewide collaborative of our Sibme users up there in Michigan, over there for me, up there for you, Kyle, is doing a lot of great work together, and so it's been really cool to just be able to be a part of that, because I learned so much from them as well. So. Anything else for us, Kyle, as we wrap up January, our last What's Up Wednesday of the January month?
The January month is, we came into 2021 as a refresh, a restart, and like you said, might as well start with Sibme. Do what the cool kids do, like our friend Brian says, and we're always looking to expand our Sibme community. So look out for some new things coming from Sibme from this year for 2021.
If you thought the things we released over the winter break were amazing, just wait till you see the things we're going to release this semester as we get started into the summer. It's going to be amazing. Just another reminder to, register for our Better Together conference. Save the date. That's coming up in June. And it's weird that it's 2021. I remember being a young girl, and thinking, man, the 2020s, like that sounds so far away. I'll be like old. Yeah, here we are. It's reality.
Here we are. Yep.
All right.
Can't stop. You can't stop.
Can't stop time. It's the end of the month, and I'm still grappling with the fact that it's 2021. All right, Kyle. Well, I'll see you again next week, and everyone else will see you there as well. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe to our pages, and you'll get notifications every time we go live and share some great insights from our coaches and our community. Bye, everyone.
Bye.